Welcome back to Mrs. Torres's YouTube channel. Today we are going to be kind of writing some proofs. So we are in this packet, looks like this, and we are going to be looking at number 10. So today and tomorrow we are going to be finishing proofs. So when we're writing proofs, we're going to use the 2-column format. One column, you write statements. And the other column, you give reasons for those statements. So it could be like definition of bisector, definition of midpoint, any of the triangle congruence theorems that we talked about. So side, 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 hypotenuse, leg, anything like that. So you'll be given empty columns. Today and tomorrow we have statements. We're just coming up with the reasons, but eventually these will all be empty. You'll need to come up with both. You will also always be given in proofs a diagram. You will be given some given information and what we're trying to prove, so what our goal is. The first thing that I want you to do when you're writing proofs is you read what's given, and if there's anything that you need to mark on your diagram, go ahead and do that. So our given says PR is congruent to TR. Let's mark it. It also says angle Q is congruent to angle S. There we go. And we're trying to prove the two triangles are congruent. So our first statement here that they already have filled in for us, we just need the reason. PR is congruent to TR, angle Q is congruent to angle S. That's what was given, right? So our first reason is always just given. Our first statement is always what we were given, and our reason is just that it was given to us. That's how you're going to start every proof. Next, the statement is angle PRQ, so that's here. It's congruent to angle TRS. We know that those are vertical angles, so our reason can be vertical angles are congruent. And then it looks like we have enough info. So we say triangle PRQ is congruent to triangle TRS. How do we know? This one, we have an angle, and we have a side. So this is angle, angle, side. We know it's not angle, side, angle because this would need to be our congruent side, but that is not true in this case, so it's angle, angle, side. Look at that. You wrote a proof, kind of. You wrote half the proof. All right, flip it on over. Let's look at 11. Number 11. All right, so number 11, again, we have a picture. Let's read what's given. N is the midpoint of ML. Remember, that's like the middle. LM is congruent to PO. Let's mark that. And LN is congruent to PN. Let's mark that as well. Here, they just rewrote the given. So our reason is it was given to us. Our next statement, NM is congruent to NO. So that's here and here. How did they know that? Well, N is the midpoint. So we can say definition of midpoint. And then we know the triangles are congruent. How? Side, side, side. And that's it. You wrote another proof. Of course, this is like as easy as it can be. This is as easy as it will get. It will get tougher from here, but this is a good foundation to know what the parts of a proof are, what our goal is. All right, let's do 2 more. So let's look at number 3. Number 3, there we go. Number 3 says C is the midpoint of AE and BD. So there's nothing to mark here because we're not told anything's congruent yet. So here's our given. Reason is given. Next statement we have AC is equal to EC. Let's mark it. How do we know those are congruent? Well, we know C is the midpoint. So we can say definition of midpoint. Our next statement, BC is congruent to DC. Let's mark it. How did we know? Again, C is the midpoint, so we can just use that reason again. It's okay if you have the same reason twice. And next, we've got angle ACB, so that's here. It's congruent to angle ECD, right there. How do we know? Vertical angles are congruent. And now we have enough info to prove the triangle is congruent by side, angle, side. That angle is right in the middle of our two sides. So side, angle, side for that one. If at any point I'm going too fast, pause the video, rewind, so you can kind of make sure you're keeping up. All right, next we've got number 5. Number 5 looks like this. So given, it says LJ, and then we have this upside down T here. Remember, that means perpendicular. That means when they intersect, they'll form 90-degree angles. And LM is congruent to JM here and here. All right, first, we just rewrote the given. Next, LKM, angle LKM is congruent, not as congruent, sorry. Angle LKM and angle JKM are right. So here and here. And we can say perpendicular lines form right angles. And since our triangles have right angles, we can say triangle LKM and triangle JKM are right. And we can just say definition of right triangle. Now, when we write our own proof, so when we're given just this and everything's blank, I'm okay if we combine these steps. So we can just say those triangles are right. All right, next we have KM is congruent to KM. That's reflexive property. Something is congruent to itself. That is reflexive property. And lastly, triangle LKM is congruent to triangle JKM. How do we know? Hypotenuse leg. All right, that is it for today. See you in my next video.